Next we have Beginning Hour, the first-person horror interactive teaser for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Released in 2016 by Capcom, currently available to download for free for PlayStation Plus users on the PlayStation Store. The teaser starts with footage from Kitchen, which has a guy named Clancy tied to a chair. Another person in the room regains consciousness, tries to break Clancy free, footage ends. You, the player, then wakes up on the floor of what looks like a lounge, greeted with the title of the teaser and instructions on what to do. Get out of the house. Players then able to wander around and explore. You can interact with a few things, pick up set items, and in your search to find an exit, you find some bolt cutters near the back door of the house. Using these to break a chain, you are given access to a tape called Derelict House Footage. Going back to the lounge room, you find that the TV is now on, giving off static white noise. You are able to put the tape in the recorder and watch the footage. While the footage is playing, you control Clancy, the camera guy, following Andre, the producer, and Pete, the host of a paranormal reality TV show. The three of you break into an abandoned house, while the producer gives you some background on what is reported to have happened here. While searching around the place, the producer goes missing. The host decides to look for him, and you, the camera guy, follow him. The host unlocks a secret passage from the fireplace in the lounge, revealing a ladder that goes down into the dark unknown. Because he is a coward, he elects you to go first. When you get to the bottom, you finally find Andre just standing there. When you go see what's wrong with him, you realize he has a small issue of pipe in face. His body collapses on you, and a mysterious man walks towards you, and the footage ends. You are back in present day. Now armed with the knowledge of what happened, you can go to the fireplace and find the secret passage. This time there isn't a ladder but a key to the back door. On your way out of the lounge, you see the mystery man walk past the door, looking quite casual. You follow him because it's the only thing you can do, and you hear him being quite noisy in the kitchen. Not able to find him, seems like he knows a few things about being a villain in a horror movie. With no sign of him, you go to the back door, only to be caught right at the end and be adopted into the family. Once adopted, you see the ending of the footage that started the game, which you now recognize as the host and what must be the camera guy. Spoiler alert, they both end up being killed by a mystery woman that just appears from what looks like the ground. There's some replay value here because you can play the teaser again, but this time opening the secret passage right away. Although there's no backdoor key, you find a fuse. Using this fuse makes the switch usable, opening the stairs to the third floor of the house. When you get up there, you hear a phone ringing. In the room, a phone and a photo sits on a table. Photo having the Easter egg to Umbrella Corporation. Answering the phone, the player gets one of a few messages and then the call ends. When walking away from the phone, you are adopted again. So let's get into a few things that irritate me about this teaser. First, the dummy finger. The developers added this item that does nothing in the game right now. As fans feverishly searched for answers, a rumor went around spurred by a tweet from a YouTuber saying that they spoke to a rep from Capcom and confirmed that there is a use for the dummy finger. Eventually Capcom comes out and says that the dummy finger currently doesn't have a use, and like a Dark Souls soapstone message reading "the path is now closed but patience," all that effort spent on trying to figure out a use for something that has none really pisses me off. They used the fans to further hype the game because there was a mystery that was going unsolved for weeks, when really there was no mystery at all, just an item that had no use. Then there's the issue of potential time or dimensional travel. While watching the derelict house footage, you control Clancy, the camera guy. In this video dimension, you can find a lockpick and unlock a drawer with nothing inside. When the recording is finished, you can go to the same drawer and find it unlocked now, with an axe in it. The axe does nothing useful, but still, that makes no sense at all, and obviously was added for the sake of a secret without much thought put into it. Probably just overthinking this. But they will most likely be releasing a full version of the teaser on all platforms at a later date, and that will include a more satisfying ending and a use for the dummy finger. But I don't know, just guessing here. As much as it doesn't make any sense, I like the sequence of watching footage of past events and walking around the location looking for things that can be changed to help my current situation. There's also a little ghost girl that creeps around just out of sight, doesn't do anything to you, just disappears whenever you see her. Apparently the developers were messing around with supernatural paranormal stuff at some point, but decided to scrap it. They most likely thought it would be fun to add in the ghost they programmed at some point and wasn't going to use anymore. Fair enough, I guess. A thing that can't be ignored is the fact that Resident Evil 7 Biohazard will be made for PlayStation VR also. I am sure this will have an effect on the gameplay in some way. I don't know, I've never used VR myself before. Not that I'm against it, I'll just let the first generation work out all the kinks, and once it has an understanding of what it is as a platform for gaming, then I'll be interested in getting me one. But I'm sure the Resident Evil VR experience will be great. Sony is hoping to use it to bring numbers to their VR headset for PS4. Overall, the teaser looks amazing. The extra amount of detail adds to the immersion. Shorter and lighter on content, this teaser gets more to the point it is trying to make and does get that message across. Resident Evil is different now. Deal. I've said my piece and it's up to you guys to decide who did it better. I think they both have their strengths and weaknesses, and considering the issues I have with the beginning hour, I'd say PT is the better teaser, but then there's most likely going to be a second part to the Resident Evil teaser released later. We'll see if that changes my mind. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. I'll work on an actual Resident Evil vs Silent Hill video, and we'll see which survival horror franchise stands on top. Until then, laters.